And I was like, why not? So it was complete impulse, one of those things where I've never heard of this before until 30 seconds ago, but now I must have it. Hey there, this is Ina from Taproot Tarot, and today I'm responding to Dragonfly Dilly's tag, What Made Me Do It? Talking about a few different prompts, why we chose specific decks. And the first prompt is Tarottube made me do it. And you know, like a lot of us, I think the answer to that is a lot, but this is actually the first one, and it was due to a walkthrough that Simon did from Hermit's Cave, and I saw this deck, Call of the Morrigan Oracle, and he was so blown away by the beauty of the art, and so was I, so that really influenced me. It does come in a big old box, so I keep it in this bag, but this is a beautiful deck. Really powerful. I like to use it with the Magic Gate Tarot. And I just couldn't say no to this art, so Tarottube made me do it. The next one is My Heart Made Me Do It. And this is Wise Earth Medicine Tarot by Lelania Simone. This deck honestly would not have caught my eye if I weren't already a big fan of Lelania. This came out earlier this month. I put it on pre-order immediately just because I have backed and supported every single thing she's done, and she's just a truly magical person. I haven't even used this deck yet, honestly. It's an animal deck, and it has keywords on it, and we'll see. Once I work with it, I might decide to use it more as an oracle, but it is just really beautiful. But again, with my emphasis more on traditional and historic cards and cards that are based on historical decks, and the fact that I don't really read Smith-Waite decks so much. Normally, like I said, this deck wouldn't have even been on my radar, but because I am an avid follower of Lelania Simone, it is, and I'm so glad I got it. It really is magical. It isn't just your average animal deck. The additional art she puts into it is just truly powerful. Really gorgeous. So, love this deck. I love her work. I have backed her Mythweaver Tarot as well. I think I backed the Tarot of the Cosmic Seed, not even on Kickstarter, but on Indiegogo back in the day. I've got her Oracle that goes with it. And I'm really excited about the Mythweaver Tarot. That one is just absolute magic. So, Lelania Simone, Wise Earth Medicine Tarot. My heart made me do it. My head made me do it. And for this, I've got the Visconti di Modrone Tarot. I believe I was watching Robin on Toadstool Tarot talk about the fact that this includes some of the additional virtues like the Minchiati decks do. And some weeks later, I saw Desiree do a walkthrough of this deck. And while I was watching that walkthrough, this is a pricey deck, but I just so happened to look at AV Tarot Market on Etsy. That's A as in Apple, V as in Victor, Tarot Market. And saw that she had this, Abigail, from that shop, had this pre-loved. And it's one of my favorite shops, whether you're looking for a discount or something collectible and so more pricey. She's got a nice variety. And yeah, I don't think I would have wanted to pay full price for this, but I was happy to get it pre-owned. And a lot of it was for the guidebook, just to learn a little bit more about the history of tarot. And the fact that these decks are often put into the order that was standardized by the Marseille style tarot. And it was really just a matter of chance that it became the convention, because Marseille happens to be a port town with a bunch of printing presses and allowed for one tradition to spread widely around Europe and eventually the world. Prior to that, the Triumph suits were variable. They were in a variety of different orders. They included a variety of different cards, and there wasn't necessarily one way of doing things that was associated with one game. So we think of the Minchiati as being a specific 97 card deck. Minchiati is just a game that happens to be associated with a longer version of the 5-suited playing card deck that includes a suit of triumphs. So I think decks like this just show us the variability that existed before things were standardized by the printing presses and the international trade in Marseille, France. So this has some of the additional virtues, like hope. I think this is faith. I believe that's charity. Don't quote me on that one though. It's a slightly different representation than what I'm used to. And this also has some different courts as well. I think she's a lady and a valet, and then an equestrienne, a knight, a queen, and a king. So yes, my head made me do it. I wanted to learn more about the history of tarot and the variability that existed before things were standardized by the Marseille tradition. This is Los Scarabeo's Visconti di Modrone Tarot. Next, the title made me do it, and this one is just so silly. So in my tarot history playlist by other channels, you'll find a really cool video about the different structures of regional tarots throughout Italy before they moved to other parts of the world. And two of those were a Bolognese Tarocchi and the Tarocchi di Siciliane. And I also have a separate video just about the Tarocchi di Tarocco, I think, di Siciliane. And it's really good. It's such a great deck, but very different from what we're used to. And so the problem with the video that goes through the history of the structure, it's dense, let's just say. He uses a spreadsheet to explain it. It's not very visual. So my thought was, I will get these decks. I had most of them already. I'll get the rest, and I will do a more visual demonstration of what he's communicating in that video. So that's my plan. But I had to get the Siciliane and the Bolognese Taroccos. And I found these two decks easily available on Amazon, and these are not Tarocchi decks. I did not look very closely. So the title made me do it because I mistook these titles for the decks I was actually looking for. This is a Modiano deck. Del Negro is a family name, I should point out. Here in the United States, that's not such a great word that we tend to use. But in Italy, it's just the name of this family. And so I did end up with the correct decks, which I had to order from Lithuania, of all places. And I also have Nova Mundi's beautiful version of her Tarocco di Siciliano. But why do I still have these decks? Why didn't I just return them? Well, the reason is that they are so adorable. Once I got them, I was like, well, these are actually kind of cute. And I don't mind having them. They don't take up much space. They were really inexpensive. And I haven't done anything with them, but they're very cute and cool decks. They're actually quite beautiful. And these are for playing modern card games. I've mentioned the game Briscola before. In fact, in the guidebook to Michelangelo Rosato's Tarocchi, this game is mentioned. So if I wanted to, I could learn a couple of games. But really, I just kept these because look how cute. They're just so random. They almost have little Lenormand vignettes to them. So because they were inexpensive, even though I bought them by mistake, I didn't return them. This is a dog and a letter. It's so interesting. So yeah, I don't mind having them. I totally bought them by mistake though because of their titles. So the title made me do it. Next, the artwork made me do it. And for that one, I don't actually have the deck yet because I've backed it on Kickstarter, so I'll place an image here. And it is the Matronua Tarocchi by Valentina. And it's amazing art. I've been following the creation of the deck on her Instagram from the very beginning. And her hand-painted artwork is just absolutely stunning. So I will link her Kickstarter in my description. And yeah, 100% it's the artwork. And, also the fact that there are a lot of historical layers to traditional tarot or tarocchi that I am really interested in. So very excited for that deck. I also backed the Metanoia 2nd edition based on the artwork as well. And that's a beautiful deck. And she's done some updates to brighten up the pips and even created some more historically based cups, which look like gorgeous Italian style cups. And so I'll link that one as well. It wasn't so much the artwork that made me do it. It's really just that I've been wanting a standard size of that deck and it's been out of stock for a long time. But I do want her to reach her stretch goal so that we get the beautiful edging, painted edging on the deck. So I'm also going to link that one. And if you've been wanting a standard size Metanoia deck, now's your chance. She also created a really super cute playing card deck to go with it. The next prompt is The Hype Made Me Do It, and this is another dang Kickstarter. I have never had this many Kickstarters backed at once, or even total. I'm not really sure, but let's just say that my next credit card bill is going to be a little bit shocking. But it's okay, it's worth it. So The Hype made me back the Greenwood Tarot, and it wasn't the hype around the Kickstarter specifically, but it was the hype that began quite some time ago, a year or even more, 2 years ago, when there were the first like whisperings and rumblings of, ooh, maybe the Greenwood is coming back. And I was like, oh, what's this Greenwood? I had never heard of it. So I looked into it and it was really appealing to me. I love the idea of a pre-Christian pagan version of the tarot. I never would have even learned about that deck if it hadn't been for the hype. So once there were, like I said, rumors that the deck might be coming back, I followed all of the different social medias, the Facebook, the newsletter, all of that. So I was notified immediately when the Kickstarter went live. And because of all the hype, I went ahead and backed it. But also because the deck really does appeal to me. And my dark side made me do it. This deck I have brought out a number of times. And I am a big fan of Edward Gorey, the Addams Family original New Yorker comics. Tim Burton, even though he's problematic, I still love me a Tim Burton movie. So this deck really appeals to me, and I suppose that it's appealing to my dark side. There's definitely some cartoon violence to it. And in these times, I'm not showing, well, that one's a little upsetting. I think of it as creepy doll heads instead of babies, though, and that helps. But yeah, this is a great deck. Like I mentioned in another video, I have just practically been craving this deck. Not only is it wonderful to work with, it's Grimo, and it's just beautiful and lovely. But yeah, we're going through some difficult times, and so a more raw and confronting deck like this is just appealing to me for some reason. So dark side made me do it. What can you do? This is the Tarot de Marseille by the artist Polka. I've heard her actual name before, but I forget what it is. It's a great deck. I do love it. My inner child made me do it. Let's talk about this cute little Pip Speak Tarot. I haven't even used this one yet. I've gotten so many new decks, y'all. It's kind of ridiculous. But I resisted this deck for the longest time because it is really cutesy. And it's harder for me to connect with my cutesy side, I guess. But this is really appealing. And I could also say that Diane made me do it. Diane from Indigo Moon Woman, because she has been featuring this deck, or she did for a while, and has talked really highly of it and how it's helped with her inner child work. And I don't do inner child work specifically, but let me just show you. Okay, so I was born in the late 70s, so grew up mostly in the 80s. Oh, here we go. Does anyone else remember Rose Petal's Place? This reminds me so much. I had those dolls. I watched the show. It was like the best thing ever. Rose Petal's Place. Oh my gosh. And then it has strawberries. That was the other big thing in those days. It was strawberry shortcake. So this really appeals to past me, who absolutely adored Rose Petal's Place and strawberry shortcake. And these I find really cute. A suit of coins with all these fly agaric mushrooms. Yeah, they're poisonous and trippy, but they're also cute, okay? And these lovely little, probably Shasta daisies. Very appealing to my younger self. And this violet color is just lovely. Look at these beautiful violets. Definitely ate a lot of violets. Did anybody else get kicked out of the house as a Gen X kid and live off of honeysuckle and violets and sorrel and that kind of thing? Gooseberries. Oh, and then clovers. There's a little 4-leaf clover there, and then we've got red clover flower. So yeah, definitely also ate clover, not gonna lie. But also picked clover and made little flower crowns out of them. So all sorts of things appeal to my inner child in this deck. It is really beautiful. And I will definitely be working with it once I kind of get caught up on this backlog of cards that I've got going. That is the Pip Speak Tarot by Kitten Chops. And Impulse made me do it. This is the Tarocco Indovino. And I just came across this on eBay and it was like $12. And I was like, why not? So it was complete impulse, one of those things where I've never heard of this before until 30 seconds ago, but now I must have it. But it is a Tarocco that came with a magazine. I think the magazine is La Repubblica. And it's very cool. It's an Italian deck. And so we have the triumphs as we would expect with art that I really love. It's just very unique compared to any other deck I have, for real. Really love it. And then we get into the pips and quartz, and we have French playing card labels and illustrations to help with the card meaning, with meanings and reversals in Italian, which I haven't explored yet, but I think I will because why not? I like to have a variety of associations with each card under my belt. It helps me kind of choose the association appropriate for each situation. And these are more continental tradition associations. So they might not be familiar to folks who read Smithwaite, but then we get into hearts. And clubs. And again, I haven't looked up any of these keywords yet, but I'm looking forward to doing so. And then diamonds. So it's a really cool art, a really neat concept, and just something totally original. And it was only 12 bucks. It was on eBay. The guy selling it is in Italy, but he ships from the Netherlands, apparently to get less expensive shipping, because I think shipping was less than 10 bucks. So it was a very inexpensive deck, and I thought, why not? Total impulse buy. Oh, I didn't show you the backs, but this is what the back looks like. Got some zodiac associations there. So very cool. I just absolutely love it. I had to have it as soon as I saw it, even though 30 seconds prior I'd never heard of it and absolutely didn't need it at all. So impulse buy right here. And finally, we are encouraged to choose our own prompt. And for this one, I'm going to say brand loyalty. I've mentioned before how much I like the Tarot de Marseille convos, largely because AGM knows how to make a deck, y'all. Like, the boxes fit the decks perfectly. It's never difficult to open them. The wrapping always has little tabs, so they're super easy to open. And I love the shape of them. They've got this flat, broad shape that makes them so easy for me to shuffle. Even though it's a standard sized deck, the fact that it's not super thick makes it really easy for me to shuffle. And because of that, I'm always on the lookout for AGM Urania decks. And this one kept popping up and making itself known over and over again. I didn't think it would be one that would actually interest me, but I always noticed the little AGM logo and thought, do I need this deck? Maybe I do. And it turns out this is a pretty amazing deck. It is not Smithwaite necessarily. I would consider it more of a continental tradition deck, which is esoteric, as you can see. But esotericism in tarot isn't exclusive to the Golden Dawn and the Golden Dawn traditions, for sure. And the images in the deck really seem to come from kind of golden age of cinema art, but not the golden age of Hollywood. I would say more like Egyptian cinema or thereabouts. Look at this hermit. So gorgeous. I do have a book on this. I haven't read it yet. As you can see, it's still in order. So I really just got this because I love AGM decks and I really liked the art. Oops. How cool is that? It does remind me of old Middle Eastern movies, which I've seen a few of here and there. You know, like from the 50s and 60s? Maybe even earlier. I had to change batteries, so I don't totally know what I was just saying. I probably should have written it down. But yeah, this is a really pretty deck. I do love it. I look forward to reading the book on it and checking out more behind it because I think the art is just really beautiful. And it's definitely not the only deck that I bought because it was AGM Urania. So it's very much a brand loyalty thing. And honestly, any of my Fournier decks could have gone into this category as well. How cool is that? So that is the Cosmic Tarot from AGM Urania. Here's the back. And brand loyalty made me do it. I just love me an AGM deck. So that's what I've got for you. I hope you enjoyed this quick little exploration of some of my motivations behind some of the decks that I've bought. I've really enjoyed watching other videos in this tag. So thank you, Dragonfly Dilly, for coming up with it. It was a really cute idea. And I will see you next time.